So this is a trade review of the week, last week of November there, basically, uh, part of the first week of December.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
so
this
this
is
is
a
a
5 day
day
snapshot
snapshot
of
of
our
our
IWM,
IWM,
our
our
triple
triple
Qs,
Qs,
and
and
our
our
SPY
SPY
here on
here
the
on the
bottom,
bottom,
triple
triple
Qs in
Qs
the
in the
middle,
middle,
IWM on
IWM
the
on the
top.
top.
Um,
Um,
we're
we're
continuing
continuing
our
our
weekly
weekly
slide.
slide. Interesting how it goes. These are weekly candles. We've got this would be the second week in a row for Spider and the second week in a row for the triple Qs. But if you look, the IWM, the small caps, one, two, three, this is the fourth week that they've had their slide. So let's go look at the root of the evil. This is a weekly heat map of last week, right? So we're not going to count, we can go back a little bit further in a minute, but if you've noticed, it's really interesting. Facebook has taken a 7% slide um, over the last week. Amazon, which is surprising, has taken a 3.5% slide. Microsoft, everybody is taking a fairly good slide here, except for Apple. Apple seems to be leading the charge with a positive note here. Netflix did really poorly, down 9.5%. Disney down 1.25% over the week. Right? So interesting to see these things and as we're looking at this, you notice this is now a 1 month performance. So, you know how we were saying the small caps were 4 weeks strong, or 4 weeks of weakness. We have weakness in the triple Qs and we have weakness in the spider there for the last 2 weeks. But if you look in the monthly, Netflix is down 12.5%. Tesla is down 16.39% for Tesla. We got Google even down 3% for the Microsoft's down 3% for the month. But there's Apple. So interesting to look and see. So here's the Apple chart, kind of it's almost a whole month's worth here, but you kind of get the gist of it. We can go a little further if you want. And there's the gist of it. I'm sure that's where's the month? Month is probably about here. You can see the rally it's had. So, what is our opinion about Apple? How do you buy Apple? Let's take a look at it. So this just so happens to be a 30-minute chart. Really, we'll expand on it further. Um, I've circled the 3 points that I've noticed that are kind of importance, and we've got our 200 moving average on there, right? So the circles just basically denote the gaps. But if you look at the levels of the gaps, they're pretty good support and resistance levels here, like extremely good, right? So this 200 is going to provide resistance, and if it breaks out of here, I might suggest that you can get a trade on. It's not going to be the greatest type of. It depends on your personality, but I mean, it's just not my trade. And I would think that would be a pretty reasonable risk to reward. That's a 4 to 1 risk to reward. So there's a 0.5% of risk with 2% of reward on this trade. We're basically just taking it if it breaks the 200. If it breaks the 200, then I think we should shoot for the this gap to fill. Yeah, being mindful of all these levels as you're going up, but it should fill that gap and probably, maybe take a bounce up to that point. But that 200 level needs to be broken. And then there's your 2 hour chart. So it's up to you if you were to take this trade or not. Note the 200 moving average where it's at on this one. This is a 2 hour chart. Note how far up we have. So this could have more downside, to be honest with you, right? Here's a daily chart. Look where the moving averages are there. That's a 200. That's the VWAP. So this thing could come down to VWAP and not even think twice about it, right? So we could come down to 140s in this stock and it still really wouldn't be hurt. Saying that, I don't know. like, subscribe, share. I don't usually cover this stuff, but it's just kind of interesting to me that Home Depot is 10% up on the month. Same with Pfizer. Well, that's not rocket science there to know that Pfizer is up. Like, subscribe, share. Yeah, especially if you want to get your high fives, you gotta subscribe. You gotta subscribe and ring that bell.